I love your wallpaper, by the way.
Thank you. I love that you're a fellow redhead, by the way.
Yes, thank you. I'm so excited to talk to you. I'm like, there's so few of us. It's so
Yes,
nice.
there's so few of us. Let's just talk SPFs. That's all we've got to do.
It's a serious issue. Come on now. Okay, so this movie is so incredible for so many reasons. I love that being true to yourself is a major theme in the film because growing up a redhead, it was something I had to struggle with. I think it's something a lot of people have to struggle with. It's very relatable. What was it about Maddie's story for you that really made you want to be a part of telling this story and being that character?
Well, I just sort of feel like, it was such a great journey, as you mentioned, being a redhead just then, that Maddie's someone who, at the beginning, she feels really confident about herself. She's raised in captivity from an egg. And then, she feels very loved by her owner, Chaz, who, subsequently we find out is kind of exploiting her for her venomous fangs. And I think that kind of that message that we get through Maddie's journey back to the down under, back to the outback, that she kind of accepts and learns to love her difference that actually makes her unique, her fangs, and accept herself for being this deadly creature, and to utilize it to kind of save the gang and when they get into trouble on their adventures. I think it was a great kind of core message. And there are others too, about not judging a book by its cover, or home is where the heart is, or putting aside your differences, or being tolerant to someone's experience, like Pretty Boy the koala, who's also kind of marginalized, but for a different reason, for being beautiful, and also judged or stereotyped for being, for only being seen on the outside. And she takes the time to get to know him. And I think it's nice. She learns to be proud of her fangs, and that's a cute message. Like, yeah, we should be proud of having red hair and high SPFs.
Exactly. We have our challenges, but it makes us unique, which is the best part. Going through high school, I didn't like it, but now, I love it.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
So what was your favorite scene to come to life once you saw the film all put together? I'm assuming it was recorded in bits and pieces, so now it's all come out. What was one of your favorite scenes that you're really looking forward to people seeing, because there's so many fantastic ones in this movie.
There are so many great scenes in the movie. I think that moment where Pretty Boy and Maddie they're at the Blue Mountains, and they have a conversation, and she realizes that he's actually, although on the other side of the spectrum, also feeling, marginalized and judged and not accepted for who he really is. And she takes the time not just to say, hey, you don't really see who I am, but she actually takes time to see him. And in seeing him, he's able to see her. And I think that's a very clever scene that's not, hit over the head and sort of milked in a way it could be. And instead, it's just very subtle and very well written. And I like to say very well played by Tim Minchin and myself. That was one of my favorite scenes. And then I love the last act. I don't want to give anything away, but just the way it's shot, and the way that, the music, and just all the characters, how they come together like kind of a furry Avengers team to fight the bad guys. I'm not giving any spoilers, but I think that's what makes the movie so fun.
And you grew up in Australia. So what did it mean to you to be a part of filming this that celebrates Australia? I feel like I haven't really seen a movie like this for kids and families that really focuses on Australia.
Yeah, Australia's home for the scariest animals, and we're so proud of how many of these animals can kill you. So what better way to show that than to set a movie? Yeah, it's a celebration of Oz. And and by the way, everyone sort of says, oh, Australia's got 9 of the 10 most dangerous snakes and spiders and the rest of it. But yet Maddie, my character, the taipan, the deadliest snake in the world, one venomous drop can kill 10 men or whatever. The fact is, a taipan is actually in life never killed anyone. So they are quite, gentle. But yes, I am very proud of being an Aussie. I was very happy to work alongside Guy Pearce and Eric Bana and Tim Minchin and Jacki Weaver and Kylie Minogue, divine. So, yeah, I'm very proud.
Amazing, Cass. Yeah, well, thank you so much for chatting with me. I'm so excited for everyone to see this film.
Thank you.
So you wrote the lullaby, as you said. How did that come about, and what was the inspiration behind that song? Because it's just beautiful.
Oh, well, writing music for theater, storytelling songs is kind of my main if I have a skill, if I have an actual skill that holds me apart from everyone else, it's that. I love writing storytelling songs, and I found that, I think it took an hour or something. I found that very intuitive. Writing a lullaby when you're a parent is pretty easy because it's very emotional. Once you've had kids, that idea of getting them to sleep and how much you love them when they're going to sleep is very deep. And so it's very easy to write a lullaby. And then all I had to do is think about where are there some snake puns, the idea of your body cooling with the night, the idea of being exomorphic. No, exos. Well, what is it when you get your heat from the outside? Anyway, cold-blooded is the exothermic. So it's a lullaby for exothermic creatures.
It's a very niche lullaby.
Yeah, that's right. Everything I do is very niche, though. I've learned that the hard way.
That's what I love about this movie, though, is that it tells so many different stories of love and of different families. So it really applies to so many people.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, and as an Australian, what is something that the film highlights about Australia for you that you're really excited for families to learn or see for the first time, maybe?
Well, we love our environment, our country, and I think the use of Indigenous artists for that magical part of the film is really special. And as an Australian, of course, Indigenous art and culture is hugely front and center for those of us who are interested. But I haven't seen it represented very much on the world stage. So I think that's really exciting. And yeah, all those beautiful environments and those beautiful reds and the particular color of our earth and the particular color of our sky is, I think, beautifully rendered in the film. It's really gorgeous.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me. And I'm so excited for people to see the film.
Thank you, Emma. I really appreciate it.
Back to the Outback is so adorable, so heartfelt. I watched it with my mom. It was fantastic. Harry, as an Australian and the writer of the film, what's something that this movie highlights about Australia that you're really excited for families to see or maybe learn for the first time?
I think really just getting to know these animals, or just taking an interest in these animals. And these aren't the most obvious animals. When you sort of shine a spotlight in Australia, you tend to go straight to the kangaroos and the koalas and emus. And you've got to look a bit further and deeper to see the little creepy crawlies. And then it can be a little bit confronting. So for me, the coolest thing was, because I grew up with all these little animals, but actually introducing them to a global audience and giving them the opportunity to see how the spiders and scorpions and lizards all move and all that cool stuff, and hopefully, spark their interest. So they'll take more of an interest in the future in these creatures.
I hope so. I really hope we get plushies because I really want a Zoe plushie.
Yeah.
So Claire, there's so many great moments in this film, from hilarious to the heartfelt. The scene with Noreen, my mom and I cried. It was so beautiful. Is there a scene that you're most excited for audiences to see?
Noreen is, that's we named her after my mother. So it's a very poignant scene for me too. I particularly like the scene where it's kind of halfway through the movie or towards the end, where they all kind of get to the outback and they are sitting there looking at the stars. And I just love that image of Uluru and the beauty of that, and just the very calmness of that scene. I thought it's one of my favorites.
I agree. So the stunning visuals in this movie are also incredible, and it makes me really want to take a trip to Australia. So Harry, there's so many great one-liners in this film, and from the amazing cameos to Tim Tams to all of the jokes. As a Capricorn, I appreciated that shout out. Was there a lot of improv that went on with the cast, or was that all just scripted brilliance?
Oh man, I would love to say that was all me and I wrote one of the line there, but a lot of those zingers were, of course, improvised. Tim, both our leads, Tim Minchin and Isla Fisher, are really terrifically very funny people. They're great comedians, and a lot of the time they'd do the scene on the page and then they'd just go off on their own. And so a lot of those kind of cool things came out of these improvised sessions.
Amazing. Well, thank you both so much for taking the time to chat with me. I can't wait for people to see this film.
Thank you
so much.
Holidays.